Hello and welcome back to Good Morning Sri Lanka. For those of you all who are just joining me, I'm Prami and we're going to be talking about diabetes. Now diabetes is a killer and it is making itself well known all over the world. Over 340 million people worldwide are affected with diabetes and 80% of this is in low and middle income countries such as Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka we have about over 2 million people affected with diabetes, making up about 10.7% of our population. And this disease is also starting to make itself known among children, with a rise in the number of children between the ages of 10 and 14 being affected with diabetes. And it is pretty bad. There's about 11.5% increase in the number of people who are affected with in pre-diabetes. And to speak about how we can help prevent and stave off the effects of diabetes, we have on a phone conversation with me Dr. Renuka Silva. He is online. Hello, doctor.
Good morning.
Good morning, doctor. How are you doing?
Fine. How are you?
Not too bad. Now, diabetes is something that we're going to talk about, and how through nutrition and good health and management, we can stave off the effects of diabetes. I believe we are going to be looking at a couple of slides, which will be coming on screen in a moment. Could you tell us a little bit about diabetes, doctor?
Yes, the diabetes is simply the person cannot control their blood glucose level due to some problems in their body system. Now it's becoming a big problem, especially in the Asian region, and in Sri Lanka you can find 10%. Now that if you take 100 people, 10 of them are suffering from diabetes, which is a major problem in Sri Lanka, because it can cause some other problems such as heart diseases and also the death.
I see. And now in diabetes, how through food can we take care of our diabetes? I mean, if you do have diabetes, how can we effectively control it through food?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Now, food is very important in controlling diabetes. How is that so? Hello, doctor?
Hello, yeah.
Moving on, now through food, we control diabetes. And how is that possible?
I can't get to it's not clear. I mean, the line is not clear.
Okay. All right, small technical malfunction. I believe we will be having a graph coming up very soon. My producer will put it up to discuss about glycemic index. What is glycemic index, sir?
Yeah, so it's a measure how a carbohydrate or the starch-containing food raises the blood glucose level in our body. So we can categorize the food according to their ability to increase the blood glucose level. For example, you can see that there's a red line. That's the food. After eating, your blood glucose level quickly goes up and then reach a maximum level within half an hour and slowly go down. So it comes to the normal level after 1 hour or 2 hours time. But the other one, that's a high glycemic one, and the low glycemic index foods slowly digest, slowly absorb glucose into the blood. So your blood glucose level will not increase that much. So that's a low glycemic index food.
Speaking about diabetic needs, now if we speak about the second slide, how do you balance the diet for a diabetic?
Yeah, so the diabetics, the first thing that I want to tell them that there are certain ideas that they should avoid carbohydrate-containing foods. They shouldn't do it. They need carbohydrates or the starch, which is essential for their health and the day-to-day life. So they must eat carbohydrates, but at the same time, they should select foods from the other groups, such as they have to eat a lot of fruits, vegetables, and a lot of pulses or the lentils, beans. Simply, the idea is you have to eat all these different type of foods, but not in large quantities, but in moderate quantities. So then that is simply the balance. And you have to eat more fiber-containing foods. So that means the fruits, vegetables, and the green leafy vegetables, at least say 1/3 of your plate should have the fruits or the vegetables and the green leafy vegetables, but not large quantities of rice.
I
So
see.
if you eat different foods in your day-to-day meal, then simply you can balance. Otherwise, you have to meet a dietitian or the nutritionist to get professional advice.
I see. Now, in a typical Sri Lankan meal, we eat a lot of rice. What can replace rice as a staple?
Yeah, so rice is our staple food and that's our tradition. However, the problem nowadays is we are not very active as our parents and the grandparents. So then we have to restrict or we have to reduce the quantity of rice that we eat. So the traditional way of Sri Lankan eating is eating large quantity of rice with a little bit of vegetables and the green leafy vegetables. That is not the way. You have to eat small quantities of rice, say 1 cup or 1.5 cup for a meal. And there are certain rice varieties which can quickly increase your blood glucose level. For example, I have to stress that there is no much difference in the red rice and white rice. We have found in research that there is no difference in red rice and the white rice. Whatever the rice that you eat, you have to eat smaller quantities. And also the palm oil rice or the steamed rice is the best if you go for rice, but that is not very palatable for some people. And also basmati is better, but the thing is that if you eat basmati, you would eat large quantities of basmati, so that's not good. So the simple idea is you have to reduce the quantity of rice that you eat.
I see. So for a person experiencing diabetes or someone who fears it, it would be better if they stick to small meals, like 6 small meals, rather than 1 big meal or 3 big meals. Yes, sir?
Sorry?
It's better for someone who is experiencing diabetes to stick to smaller meals and not so much 3 big meals.
Yeah, exactly. They have to eat the 3 major meals. As I mentioned earlier, they have to balance with eating a lot of the pulses or the lentils and the beans. 3 major meals, it's a must. And in addition to that, they have to have 2 other the snacks. But all these meals should be moderate in quantity. Not large meal at a time, because then the person will get large load of glucose suddenly into the blood, so then they have a problem of controlling their blood glucose level.
Okay. Well, that was very informative, doctor. Thank you, and definitely a very valuable thing to know, because diabetes is making itself quite prevalent, particularly with a sedentary lifestyle that a lot of us are getting used to as well. Thank you so much for joining me on the show, doctor. Okay. And right now, we're going to be getting into what it would be like to be a Victoria's Secret model. Not really. Actually, we're going to be talking about how Victoria's Secret models maintain their beautiful figures, but on the other side of a small commercial break.